Hello friends, in this video tutorial we are going to see the concept of for each loop, breakpoints and watch windows. So for that we are having two Excel files, one for India and the second for US. So this file has got 25 records and the country is India, whereas in the second file the country is US and this file also has got 25 records. So we want to iterate over these two files using the folder path, and we want to insert all the records in this table, that is persons table, and right now there are no records in it. So for this, let us add a data flow task to our package. Let us add a flat file source. Let us point this flat file source to our first Excel file and see whether it is able to read our flat file or not. So it's a CSV file, so it's able to read. Now let us add an OLEDB destination and insert these 25 records in our table. So let us point this OLEDB destination to our database table. Let us select the table as persons dbo.persons table. So mappings are correct. Now let us run our package. So we are able to insert the 25 records in this particular table. So let us delete those records. So now there are no records. Now let us similarly read the second Excel file and see whether we are able to insert the 25 records present in this Excel file into our table. So it has ran. Now let us verify in the table. So now for US there are 25 records, which means we are able to read the second Excel file also. Now we have deleted all the records, so our table doesn't have any records now. Now what we want is we want to iterate over these two files, right? So for that we will have to introduce for each loop container. And let us place our data flow task inside the for each loop container. Now we want to read files, so we'll select for each file iterator. We specify the path where our files are located, and the extension of the files is .csv. Now we will introduce a new variable over here which will store the current file value, the current file path. And this file path will be read by our data flow task. Now in the data flow task, we are pointing to the flat file manager 1. We require only one flat file manager. So let us delete this one. Okay. So now it is pointing to the first flat file manager. Now we want this flat file manager to point to a variable instead of having a static path. So for that let's go to expression and let's provide connection string as our variable, user double colon file path variable. So now our data flow task will read the files which are located there in the file path variable. Now let us introduce breakpoints. So we have added a breakpoint for the for each loop. Similarly, let us add a breakpoint for the data flow task. Now let us start debugging. Before that, we are verifying that there are no records in the table. So let's start debugging. Now, let us add the variable name in the watch window. So right now it doesn't have a value. Let's debug further. So the control is now on the data flow task, and we're able to see that the variable now has got the value and it is pointing to our first CSV file. Similarly, now in the second iteration, it is pointing to the second CSV file. Let's complete our execution. So now it has completed. So it must have inserted all the 50 records in the database table by iterating over the two files. And we are able to see that there are 50 records in the database. First 25 are for India and the last 25 are for US.